I've trained all of my life to be a nurse. There's nothing I ever wanted to be except a nurse.
We try to give them enough food so that the family will have food for the rest of the week.
But I have to keep going. If I cannot offer that care and love for them, I would be nothing.
Here at Stitch, we celebrate the ways everyday people are making this country a kinder place to live, one incredible story at a time. When it comes to COVID-19, senior citizens make up one of the most vulnerable groups in the country, but they're also doing remarkable things in their communities despite the threat of the coronavirus. This nursing assistant went above and beyond to help others through the pandemic, and she has the perfect attendance record to prove it.
Now, do you believe that staying busy and working every day kind of keeps you going?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely, 100%.
In 2020, Tatiana Yap didn't miss a single shift at the Surrey Community Health and Rehabilitation Center in Mount Airy, North Carolina. The 81-year-old is better known as Grandma around the center. Along with her 10-hour shifts, she went the extra mile by volunteering on the weekends, too.
But I have to keep going, because if I sit down and close my eyes to what the world needs, and if I cannot offer that care and love for them, I would be nothing.
The staff decided to recognize all of her hard work with a wonderful surprise.
When they presented me with that flag, that surprised me. We really did, and I appreciate that. And I want to show them that I do care, excuse me.
An emotional Tatiana explained why she's willing to put her own well-being at risk to keep others safe.
If they would look more at others that are in need, maybe they would wonder and see how they would feel if they were in the same situation. Laying in bed is a hard job, but we also have a hard job to do. We have to give of ourselves, and you cannot do that if your heart's not in it.
Tatiana even used to sing in the halls for the center's residents, and her favorite tune is emblematic of how she sees the world.
Each day I do a golden deed by helping those who are in need. My life on earth is but a span, and so I do the best I can.
After 5 decades as an educator, one retired teacher is still giving back. But during the pandemic, she turned her attention to feeding struggling families.
And back here, where we store our food.
When she retired from teaching in 2009, Estella Pyfrom didn't stop working hard for her community. She set up food pantries that serve roughly 300 families a week.
We try to give them enough food so that the family will have food for the rest of the week.
She'd been helping people in this mobile home park in West Palm Beach, Florida for a few years. Then COVID-19 hit and made the needs of the community that much greater. Aside from the food pantries, Estella converted a bus into a summer school, and it's stocked with computers and high-speed internet so the kids who live there are equipped to learn.
When I look in the mirror.
Estella also did what she could to help locals get vaccinated against the coronavirus, but that hasn't been an easy process.
They're afraid mostly of traps being set up for them, afraid of being deported. And we're here to serve them and not to set them up so that they could be exposed to be deported.
Still, Estella's determination to help outweighs the roadblocks she's faced.
It's important to me because I see the needs in the community.
In our next story, a 90-year-old woman took her knitting hobby to the next level.
I just keep going around. I like to keep my hands busy. I get kind of tired being shut in the room.
What was once simply a way for nursing home resident Myrna Priestley to stay busy became quite the moneymaker.
This is my yarn bag. You take this little thing and you pull it up around and over.
Myrna knitted dozens of hats at the Good Samaritan Society in Millard, a neighborhood in Omaha, Nebraska. Before the pandemic, she'd set up a table and sell her creations. But when COVID-19 made that impossible, the facility's activity director, David Castillo, turned to social media instead.
We started getting calls left and right. I was answering these calls, putting orders together and making sure that I met people outside to get those hats to them.
And Myrna's hats were a hit.
I sold my hats, they're all gone, and I could have sold more.
She was knitting so much, her doctors told her she needed to take a break.
Well, I hope I get my fingers better. I can't do nothing but this thing on my hand. I'm frustrated is what I am, that I can't work on them.
Still, the sales were enough to buy an iPad to connect with her family by video chat, which for Myrna was an improvement from a simple phone call.
It's so much more fun to do it that way.
For David, facilitating Myrna's hat sales was just one more way of providing some normalcy during a strange time.
At the end of the day, it's all about Myrna, and her listening to those calls and those stories, it really brought that positivity. It really put a smile on her face, and I think that's very important, especially during these times.
Myrna even donated some of her earnings from the hats back to the facility.
This is home to me, and they're real good to me. They're real good to me.
These seniors got ready for their close-up for a good cause.
Heating up the summer, right?
Dr. Nancy Grasmick lives in an independent living community in Lutherville, Maryland, called Brightwood Living. She and a number of other residents put the fun in fundraising by posing as movie stars for a 2021 calendar. However, she was a little nervous about becoming Miss July at first.
I was totally intimidated, and I thought they have the wrong person. And how am I ever going to pull this off?
Initially, the calendar was just a fun way to boost morale during COVID, but they ended up raising money for the Maryland Food Bank too.
Well, I just was thinking about something we could do during the pandemic, and I see all of our residents as stars, and it just kind of came together.
The residents were paired with movie themes based on their personalities.
Andy Get Your Gun, Miss Jean Wareheim was a nationally ranked skeet shooter, so it made sense.
This is one of my favorites.
For 83-year-old Bill Kitchell, it was an opportunity to try something new. This Easy Rider's first calendar shoot also meant hopping on a motorcycle for the first time.
Do you ever think that at this age you would be in a calendar?
No. Not at any age.
Brightwood's residents were excited by the chance to raise their spirits while also making a difference.
I thought, well, I want to do this. It's fun. And I don't care what happens. And I don't care what people think. I love doing this.
It gave us something to think about and play with and have fun in a year that hasn't been a whole lot of fun.
The pandemic prompted a retired nurse to get back in action in our next story.
They asked when I could start, and I said Monday.
When Sandy Fogelsong heard that CVS needed registered nurses to administer doses of the vaccine, she wasted no time dusting off her scrubs.
I've trained all of my life to be a nurse. There's nothing I ever wanted to be except a nurse. And now, at an older age, I can still give. So that's important to me.
After years of working in the ICU at the Christ Hospital in Cincinnati, Sandy retired 2 years ago. But nursing is in her bones. So when CVS announced plans to hire more than 1,500 people across Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana to give out the shots, she stepped up.
Why do I still have my nursing license? Why did I keep my basic life support up? But then this came along, and it's like, well, maybe the universe is opening up and speaking to me.
Though Sandy is in an older age bracket, she said her fears were nothing compared to her gratitude for being able to help others.
I'm certain that they really do need people to step up and help with this. I'm thankful, so thankful that I am able to do this.
We hope you liked these stories of older Americans doing exceptional things during the pandemic. Do you have any super seniors in your life? Tell us about them in the comments below, and thanks for watching Stitch.